So you grab hold of this.
Tendon protocol.
You never ever treat the unit as a single and pull. Keep going.
Oh, look at that, just peels away.
Keep going.
Douglas is scared, he thinks he's going to pull me over.
Keep going.
What distance take a while almost?
Well, we're stuck now, aren't we? We've come
The
to the
superficial
end.
and the deep are so convoluted at their primary origin, they don't pull apart. Only once in my entire history of dissection has it pulled apart, and I think it was because I cut it incorrectly and I was in a 30-year-old Icelandic course. They never pull apart.
It's unreal how it comes so quick apart to that.
But you see how convoluted the muscles are?
Yeah.
Never treat one without treating the other. This is a unit, not a singular entity you're working with. I treat everything and I start at the origin here, on the medial aspect of the elbow. That's my first protocol. Start by releasing the origin. The origin is least movable and more convoluted. Then I work down with laser through the muscles, and I actually have the horses on a ramp.
Okay.
There is no shortening of the heel. I lower the heel and put them on a gentle ramp because I want the fibres to stay in a longitudinal healing process. I do not want the cross-sectional. So this is really important to understand that the haphazard formation of the fibres that are developing within 7 days, I'm controlling. At day 7, I am walking the horse AM and PM. If we're looking at core 3 lesions in the superficial or the deep, I start AM and PM, 10 minutes AM, 10 minutes PM on a hard surface. And I keep this protocol increasing at 5-minute increments per week until week 6, when I ultrasound again. And I'm lasering 3 times a day. I'm icing 3 times a day. I'm icing straight after movement. I'm lasering straight after that, and then I poultice. And then the poultice is on 12 hours in between. So if I'm poulticing between, I'm poulticing between. But the other 12 hours is a magnetic boot.
Overnight, yeah?
Overnight, you can do one or the other. AM or PM, it might be easier to poultice overnight and put the boot on in between your lasering. But 12 hours magnet, 12 hours laser. Like 8 protocol, if you get my meaning. 3.
Yeah.
Then at week 6, I ultrasound. And at this point in my protocol, I'm between 80 and 85% of the hole is filled. And then we're back in the saddle by week 6, walking. Still on a hard surface.
And do you keep that, how long do you go for another 6 weeks or until?
I'm trotting. I start trotting.
At 6 weeks, around about, yeah?
Never on circles, always straight lines.
Yeah.
But I can trot in hand, but I'm walking under saddle. And I'm going now for 20 minutes AM and PM. I'm at the 20-minute mark. This protocol hasn't let us down once yet.
How long are they
And
on
you
a
just
ramp
continue.
for?
Sorry?
How long are they on a ramp for?
I leave them on a ramp.
What?
Oh,
How many
just to
hours a
feed.
day? Oh, just to feed? Yeah. Yep.
Just to feed on the ramp.
And then poultice-wise, it's like a tough rock or
Yes.
Yep.
I also have the hay high so that they are standing square. So the hay will be, the bottom of the hay net will be at normal nose height. So they're just standing like that. And by doing that with their head, what are they doing with their front legs?
shifting the weight.
So they're passively.
That movement of grazing.
So we're not on a ramp here. We're feeding on a ramp with the hard feed. But with the hay, they're doing this. And what am I doing to the tendon? I'm activating it and stretching and passively stretching the deep digital and the superficial because I can't stretch the tendon, but I can stretch the muscles. We all good with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're boxed the whole time?
I've got them out in a small yard by day 7.
Okay.
The first, but I have a long-acting anti-inflammatory, and I take over with herbs. Something that's not so long-acting, often I think it's ketoprofen they can put in or something like that. So they can put in a ketoprofen, and yeah, we're back in the saddle in 6 weeks.
And what's the herb, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I usually leave that to the herb, depending on the core. Okay, so here's an example. I had a very minor lateral tear in the tendon, 6 weeks out from an Olympic trial for 3-day eventing. We won the 3-day event, 3-star trial, Olympic trial. They scanned the tendon that was clear as bell. So I used lemongrass.
And what are the properties of lemongrass in assisting healing?
Shit knows. It's just it works for humans.
It's interesting that lemongrass actually looks like a tendon with a muscle
Yeah, I was
attached.
just about to say that.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing
I
about
can't, I've read it,
Yeah.
I tell you now, I did read it nearly 20 years ago and I worked a lot of stuff out. But if you look from human, you can rub it on. But I used it in a oil format, and I actually used it in rubbing it on the horse. But not down there because I had everything else going on down there. So I actually used it from that perspective, but in a herbal form. I'm certainly a very keen advocate of rose hip tea. Sorry?
For inflammation.
Vitamin C, all kinds of things. It just seemed to have another property that I was, but I talked to the herbalist. I go to Robert McDowell's. I talk to them. They can make you tendon and ligament tonics, so they won't tell me what's in that. So
So what laser protocol are you using on that?
3 times a day.
What stroke?
I think I'm looking at a 3B laser.
Yeah,
I haven't had my lasers for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I haven't had. So what I do is I tell my clients what to do when they have my laser. So I don't even know what it looks like anymore. I haven't seen it for 6-7 years, except when they're charging it up.
Did you say McDowell's?
Robert McDowell's herb. All right, I'm going to disarticulate this at the elbow so you can see. Oh, yeah, you can see a couple of things from